A very good evening once again and a very warm welcome to RwandaTV News with me, Ethan Tashobia. Let's start it off from here in Kigali. Local manufacturers complain over continued importation of some products, yet they have the same capacity to satisfy the Rwandan markets, making it a major obstacle when it comes to competing with the imported commodities. Innocent Mugabo kicks off tonight's bulletin with this report.
The Pharma Lab manufactures a variety of medical equipment. When the world was hit by the COVID-19 pandemic, more than 200 million people lost their lives. Scientists later found that a person wearing a face mask, protection is guaranteed from the virus. Industries that manufacture face masks also gained momentum. Those in charge of Pharma Lab say they invested more than 350 million Rwandan francs in the making of face masks. They worked 12 hours a day, making it 3 million face masks manufactured a year. They believe they can fully satisfy the domestic market, only that the country still imports the masks, a thing that instills worry that the 350 million invested might be lost. As a made in Rwanda factory, the first thing is that we have the best products, but we are being hit by imports, especially from China and India, which are of low quality, finding ours on the market with the highest standard that we were given by the Rwanda FDA. These barriers are compounded by the fact that the cost of electricity is still high, and that when they are late paying for this electricity, they are fined things that they find inappropriate. The C&D Pink Mango Garment Factory also faces various challenges, including competition from the external market. The challenge is that when a European client places an order in Vietnam and another in Rwanda, that from Vietnam will reach fast because of the sea issue. And the second is that they have been in the trade for years, so we have to work on making quality products, as we have been doing for years, making us far better than those countries. And now when the government comes in to help us in minimizing the distance from the sea impact, otherwise it would have been very expensive. Kamgisha Samuel, an official from the Ministry of Trade and Industry, says that there are still improvements to make in regards addressing these challenges, such as continuing to work closely with manufacturers to find a solution to the available problems. About the cost of electricity, it is true the cost went on rising, but industries have a special fixed tariff at a lower cost compared to other users. A group of senators from the Standing Committee on Economic Affairs and Development visited the industrial site in Masoro in Gasabo district. After a few hours of touring various industries, being explained the working nature and where these industries are at strengthening the Made in Rwanda program, these praised the work and the efforts and convictions of these manufacturers on the issues raised. The obstacles we have had here are not so rampant, except in the private sector, like these industries. The government has given them obvious advantages, like the roads, stable electricity supply, not forgetting clean water. What I can say is that they are in a strategic area without any problem at all. In the special economic zone located in Masoro, more than 7,000 people have permanent jobs and other 13,000 have part-time jobs that earn them money to support their families. In 2019, industries accounted for 18% of the country's gross domestic product, amounting to 9,189 billion Rwandan francs. Innocent Mugabo, RTV News.
Thank you, Innocent, for that report. Small-scale traders that were used to carrying goods across the borders between the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda are happy to resume businesses after 8 months since the borders were closed due to COVID-19 pandemic. Local officials in the Western Province say borders are only open for traders that are carrying out trade and essential workers. Jen Mutoni has more.
Also known as Petite Barrière that separates Gisenyi Province and the Democratic Republic of Congo in Goma town has been reopened for small traders to carry out business after 7 months since it was closed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Each person passing through the border is being tested for COVID-19 free of charge and then receives their results after 30 minutes. Informal traders are happy to be back in business after a long time of not working due to the COVID-19 pandemic, which has greatly affected their well-being or income. While we were asked to stay in our homes, it was frustrating for us. As you can see, we are small cross-border traders. We come here to wholesale, then go back to our country to sell. Life was not easy as borders were closed. But now we are happy that both countries have come to a common understanding, and now we are back in business. I'm happy to be back in Rwanda. On one hand, the governor of the Western Province, Munyatkwari Alphonse, says borders have only been reopened for informal traders using the border because most of them depend on their business for survival. We agreed to open borders for small cross-border traders to resume their business. As you have seen, we are trying to ensure that they work as a group, not just anyone passing through. We have given them a chance to work together as a group by joining their goods so that they can pass through in one container or on their wheel machines. And if they can manage to transport them in a car, it would be better. But the goal is to join together as they pass through. Only traders that are in cooperatives shall be allowed to pass through the border with his or her goods so as to reduce the congestion that may occur. The other border, also known as La Corniche, is still being used by big trucks importing and exporting food as it has been from the beginning of the pandemic. Drivers that were quarantined have been sent back home. Now that movements across the border have been simplified, they are now able to work like the rest of the citizens. We have carried out COVID-19 tests on them, and in case of any victims, we treat them like any other COVID-19 patient, as we then verify if he or she has all necessary requirements to be treated from home, while those that are free from the virus will be sent back to their homes, as they shall be permitted to pass through the border, especially if they are carrying out trade between countries. Traders using La Corniche border are asked to pay $30 before being tested for COVID-19 virus, then receive their results after 24 hours with a validity of 2 weeks. The other group of people allowed to pass through the borders are patients that wish to receive treatments in either of the 2 countries, whereas for students, teachers, and doctors are required to have permanent residence in the country that they wish to go to, as discussed in the meeting that took place in Goma between the local officials of the Western Province and the North Kivu Province in DRC. Jane Mutoni, reporting for RTV.
Positive development from the Western Province there. Now, moving on, the University of Kigali has announced plans to acquire the infrastructure of the now defunct Kim University after the latter on Tuesday, December 2nd, announced closing its premises permanently. Kim University leadership announced the decision to shut down the institution with over 800 students, attributing the tough decision to the financial problems they have been experiencing over the years. Established in 2005 as Kigali Institute of Management, KIM, by Peter Rutaremara, a senior accountant who formed a rumor and later died this year, the institution has over the years developed infrastructure, including buildings and other facilities at its campus located in Kigali, along Kigali-Rwamagana Highway. In 2016, the institution also was credited as a degree awarding institution, and later it became the University of Kim. Now, to tell us more about this development, I'm joined by Professor Gustave Tombora. Professor Gustave is the Vice Chancellor of the University of Kigali, who joins us via Skype to tell us about the development. Many thanks for joining us, Professor.
Thank you so much.
Yes, quite a number of developments that we've seen today, but let us know, how far have you gone with acquiring the infrastructure of the now defunct Kim University?
Okay, with Kim University, with the University of Kigali, we have signed a sales agreement between the 2 institutions. Mm-hmm. And the second is about the students, because the sales agreement is about the infrastructure or the assets of the Kim University, which are to be bought by the University of Kigali. What remains is about the students. We, as the management of the University of Kigali on daily management, we met the owner of Kim University together with the Vice Chancellor of Kim University to see the way of relocating the students, or how can students get out from the ambiguity. As managers, we met, but also we met students. I personally met the students together with the Vice Chancellor of the Kim University to clarify on how they can get transferred to the University of Kigali, as the University of Kigali is in the deal of getting the premises of Kim University. And all the questions they had, we had to clarify them and how they can join the University of Kigali. Maybe for the sake of those who are listening to us or following this, I have also to clarify in the normal transfer of students, no student has to transfer to another high learning institution unless the student will cover 50% of the credits in that university which is receiving the student. But in this case of closed high learning institutions, this don't keep only Kim. We have other universities which were closed together with Kim. The transfer will be in a special way. Even a student who is remaining with only one module, that student will be transferred. That's how we can make it, and that's from the guidance of the Higher Education Council, which regulates the high learning institutions. After the students have registered to our university, then we'll make them fitting in our programs. After getting them exemptions and then to know how do they fit in our programs, we'll prepare that report to be sent to the Higher Education Council for their approval. Then the student will be progressing.
Okay, well explained about how you are planning to assist students to rejoin the university through Kigali University over there. So would you also tell us how much is involved in this deal of acquiring the property of Kim University?
Okay, the amount to acquire Kim University is about 5 billion.
And would that mean that you're acquiring everything, infrastructure, and all that there is that Kim had in ownership and possession?
Exactly.
Okay, great.
Exactly.
Okay, there's also an issue of teaching staff of Kim. Any way you are going to help them to move on? Because after all, the number of students are going to increase at your university. You surely are going to need more teaching staff.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
In terms of the staffing, the staffing will be, it is not automatic.
Yeah.
Even the students, they are free to join any university. They are not obliged to come to the University of Kigali. Same thing applies to the staff. The staffing does not mean that if we have a best staff from one of the best staff from the Kigali, the Kim University,
yes,
as that Kim University staff may apply as any other staff who wants to join the University of Kigali. Then the process of recruitment will be done. It does not mean that acquiring Kim assets means that we acquire also the staff
and everyone involved.
It is not a it is not a merge.
Yes, I understand.
You are not merging, and we are not merging.
So when should this acquisition process end, and so that everything continues normally now?
Okay, the end of the process. Yes, I cannot predict that the end of the process will be this date, but soon we will be closing even the payment soon. But I can't predict saying that tomorrow or after tomorrow or in a week. But what we know is that the sales agreement was signed, and then the rest is in terms of payment and then gets the deal completed.
Professor Gustave Tombora, many thanks for your time indeed, and I wish you the best in this deal.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your time also.
Thank you so much for your time indeed. Professor Gustave Tombora, who is the Vice Chancellor of the University of Kigali, talking about the acquisition of Kim University that is now closed permanently. Moving on, farmers in Rwanda district are in a state of ecstasy after being handed over irrigation dams worth 20 billion Rwandan francs through a partnership between Rwanda and the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA. Gloria Mutesi has more.
Ndaisaba Zakaria and Mukashema Olive are rice and vegetable farmers in the Charuhogo and Bugugu marshlands in Ramagana district. They say these irrigation facilities will keep their crops in good condition all season long and increase their productivity. We would run out of water because it was low, and that gives some of us sleepless nights, struggling and worrying about the water shortages. But now we will have water from the dam and increase productivity. There was a place where I used to grow vegetables and I was running out of water. But now I have hope and joy, and I'm going to increase the surface area where I cultivate. The 3 dams built by the Japan International Cooperation Agency in the Kagabiro, Murire and Rubona sectors of Ramagana district will help farmers cope with climate change, and it's expected to improve agriculture in this area. Japan Ambassador to Rwanda Masahiro Imai said agriculture plays a key role in the economic growth in Rwanda, which is why the country he represents is proud to support agriculture to eradicate poverty.
We all agree that the key to development of agriculture sector is the improvement of productivity and profitability. It also contributes to poverty reduction. It's our honor that Japanese technology and experience can contribute to the development of Ramagana district. As of today, I hope agriculture sector in Ramagana district will become more productive and resilient, such that the income of local farmers will increase.
The governor of the Eastern Province, Fred Mufuruche, commended the Japanese government and urges people to take better care of the facilities.
I would like to sincerely thank everyone who worked tirelessly to make this project a reality. We have embassy officials who worked very hard. We have JICA officials who worked very hard.
All you residents that are representing the others, we ask that you utilize this and increase rice production so that we are elevated from poverty. And the other thing is to properly handle this facility. The water channels should not have mud in them. The irrigation dam costs $20 million, equivalent to about 20 billion Rwanda francs, and will help 1,174 farmers cultivating on 174 hectares of land from 4 cooperatives.
Welcome back. Thank you so much, Gloria, for that report. Now, the latest from the Ministry of Health regarding COVID-19 status in Rwanda. One person, a 73-year-old woman, passed away, succumbed to coronavirus, bringing the total number of coronavirus-related deaths to 36. At the same day, the country registered 18 new cases out of 1,805 sample tests taken in the last 24 hours, while 10 people recovered. Active cases are now 217. I understand Kigali registered 1, Gatsibo registered 2 cases, Nyagatare registered 3 cases, while Nyamagabe registered the most, 12 cases. This is as a result of testing in high-risk groups. In other news, this Thursday, the National Industrial Research and Development Agency, NILDA, in partnership with Enabel, the Belgian Development Agency, launched 4 selected value chain in bid to help farms that will be eligible to leverage technology to boost competitiveness and productivity. The 4 value chains include poultry, piggery, animal feeds, and stone. These will be done through 2020-2021 NILDA Open Calls program. Technology audits were carried out on each value chain to identify gaps and potential interventions needed in each sector. Winners in the open calls are supported to acquire and adapt and make better use of technology, such as upgraded equipment to address technological and technical barriers, hence improve productivity and competitiveness of local-made products. The Open Calls programs aims at bringing farms or industries businesses in the selected value chain to the next level by acquiring upgraded equipment such as machines and other technologies, according to the officials. On behalf of the entire news team, many thanks for finding time to be with us, for your company in this edition. And stay well and safe. I'm Ethan Teshavia. Bye for now.